Dr. Sharifah juga telah memberi kita sedikit gambaran mengenai apa yang dibincangkan oleh pengubal dasar kita juga di Parlimen. Jadi memang sesuai untuk kita juga menjemput Ahli Parlimen kita juga. Saya terlupa nak cakap tadi, Dr. Siti Mariah juga adalah Ahli Parlimen Kota Raja dan jadi tadi kita lihat sedikit ada perbincangan yang baru-baru ini agak hangat di Parlimen mengenai isu perkahwinan kanak-kanak ini Jadi mungkin Dr. Siti Mariah sebagai pengubal dasar, pengubal undang-undang dapat memberi kita perspektif beliau. Terima kasih.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wa mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Puan moderator dan seterusnya sidang hadirin sekalian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera kepada semua. I don't have any slides with me. As usual, politicians only talk. Okay. My bahasa Malaysia is not as good as Dr. Sharifah. And my bahasa English also is not as good as Encik Nazim. So I have to mix both. But I was asked to talk about why we Wanita Pakatan Harapan, which constitute Wanita Amanah, Wanita DAP, Wanita Keadilan and Wanita Parti Bersatu, unanimously agree to the cadangan, to the suggestion that the minimal age for marriage in Malaysia should be 18. And sebenarnya why we make this decision, you've heard the reasons behind it, and we as so-called lawmakers and pembuat dasar, but let me inform you, it is a false impression that we make the law. No, we just have to debate the law, because the law is made by the government. That you all must understand. So if the law is passed even though we don't agree, it will be passed. It's got the majority. So we have looked at all this, and as parliamentarians, sometimes we do have cases of people who marry at very young ages, and later on the complications they have. Walaupun maybe we do not meet every day these sort of cases, but we do have those cases. And looking at the statistics, it cannot be denied that the number is increasing. So there is a certain trend in Malaysia where people are taking it as something romantic or whatever it is. But I just want to give you the perception of some of our population that justify child marriages. That means below 18, and for the Muslims even below 16, because this is a way for us to menghalalkan sexual needs. In fact, in Parliament, one of the parliamentarians was saying that this is the age where teens, remaja, mempunyai high sexual urge. So we have to legalize it, or else there will be a lot of perzinaan. So if that is the reason why we marry off children, I totally disagree. And in fact, all of us women parliamentarians do not agree with this, because marriage is much more than sexual satisfaction. And some even went to the extent and say that let them marry at a young age, but the parents must still take care of them. So it's so contradicting. And when this number is increasing, of course, as we parliamentarians are fighting for the empowerment of women in Malaysia, we know that by getting married early, that means your education will be terminated. Our education system does not facilitate married women to go to school, and neither are we rich enough to provide special education for them. So that means when their education is terminated, meaningly, they are all prone to poverty in the future. And you like it or not, economics is very important because it determines your life in this world. You have to do it. You have to correct this. So from there we saw poverty, And the early pregnancy, meaning that they are not ready yet for childbearing and bringing up the children. Yeah, and suddenly they are put into that situation. And most of the cases, especially for the Muslim cases, we were told, when we meet up with lawyers and judges, they were married off because of the pregnancy before marriage. They couldn't even control themselves, take care of themselves from pregnancy, and when they have children, how are they going to bring up the children? And most of them are from poor families. Yeah, and then therefore you see the vicious cycle of poverty will continue. And most of these marriages are from the lower socio-economic group. Yeah, we seldom hear of childhood marriage from the high economic group. Yeah, we seldom hear of this. And the other thing that really made us angry is when you have statutory rape. That means having sexual relationship with children 16 and below, and now 16 and below. And the rapist, is later wants to marry the girl, as a case in Sarawak. Yeah, and what happened after that? He went to prison. He went to prison, and the wife is still with the mother, with the parents, taking care of her. So it doesn't serve the purpose of a marriage. Yeah. So when we talk about this statutory rape, that's why when the law on sexual offences towards children came up, we made it a law that below 18, children should not be involved in sex. Either and it's unlawful for you to exchange sexual pornographic materials with girls or boys below 18. Yeah, and yet you are allowing girls below 18 to get married. Yeah, so that they contradict. Yeah, there's a lot of contradiction there. And most of the reasoning given to us is that when they have sexual relationships at a young age, and when there's pregnancy, the parents want to marry them off because thinking of who would father the child. Well, if she's already more than 6 months pregnant, you have the bin Abdullah punya problem pula. Yeah. And I forgot what I want to say just now. The freedom of the child already telah dibentangkan. When a child of 16, 17 is allowed to get married, and especially if the husband has a big age difference, something like a father and child relationship. So the wife will be subordinate and will be very submissive to the husband. And that's why the issue of freedom, the issue of empowerment, the issue of child abuse, or rather bride abuse or domestic violence, is very tangible. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know life yet. Even at 18, our girls don't really understand what marriage is all about. So when we were saying that the marriage may not last long, JKSM ada figure yang mengatakan the marriage of child marriages doesn't have a higher incidence of divorce compared to those who are mature. So that means it's all right. These girls do not know their right. Where are they going? How are they going to get divorced? Who's going to support them? Because the parents have given them away in marriage. So I'm very concerned about actually when there's a large age difference, and especially when they're under 16. And some of the argument says that, the girls are mature enough because they're looking at physical. The girls now are physically more empowered compared to perhaps the yesteryears when the girls are smaller and cute and whatever. But it does not mean that you have a mature body, you have a mature mind. And I agree with Dr. Nizam when he says, Encik Nizam, he says that it is a discrimination when you allow girls under 16 to get married, but you don't allow boys. Why? If you allow girls to marry under 16, you must allow boys as well. Why aren't we allowing boys to marry under 16? Because I think society don't want the boys to be burdened with taking care of the wife and taking care of children at an early age. But don't mind if the girls get pregnant early and the girls get burdened early with responsibilities. Yeah. Health risks, everybody knows. The high morbidity, high mortality, the younger you are. Yeah. All this we put together, and there is no reason for us to deny this importance. Yeah, that we should have a minimum age. And we get feedback necessary that why this we should not have an absolute mutlak, makna dia tak boleh langsung kahwin bawah 16. The problem is mainly because of pregnancies and uncontrollable girls, daughters. So they think by marrying off these girls, the husband can control her. You know, so this is about saving the faces of their parents, having orang kata tak nak muka ibu bapa diconteng aram. Ya, kalau mengikut di segi hukum, tidak wajib, saya tidak tahu setakat pembacaan saya, perbincangan saya, tidak wajib seorang yang telah berzina mesti berkahwin di antara satu sama lain. Tidak wajib. Ya, saya tak tahulah nanti Datuk Ismail boleh mungkin bagi itu. Tetapi bagi saya, for me, a sin has been crime, yes, but there is door for repentance. There is door for rehabilitating the child. Why are we punishing her into another state of something that she cannot control? Yeah, so that is why we felt that enough is enough. Yeah, and our society has to be told that from now, if we want, I agree with criminalization. I agree, because I think without making it as criminalization, people will take things easy. I know the Sharia judges and the Sharia lawyers won't agree totally, because they say that we don't have a way out for those teen pregnancies, extramarital pregnancies. This is the argument. That's why I say it's not about religion, it's about saving the face of the family. Yeah, by right, if we have such cases, yeah, we should rehabilitate the child. And then we have shelter centers which will help the girls, yeah, not only to deliver the child and then put the child out for adoption, but also will try to rehabilitate their understanding of life. Yeah, what is a family life? What is your duty, your role as an individual to yourself and to God and to the nation, whatever. So most of them, if they are rehabilitated in that way, when they come out, they start with a new life. Yeah, they start with a new life, and they can continue their education. In fact, when they are in rehab centers, they can sit for the exams. Yeah, they can still continue with their education. So for us, education is of utmost importance. It's of utmost importance for girls and boys. Yeah. But if we do not do something about the law, then we will continue talking about this another 10 years, 15 years. Yeah. So actually, it's up to the government to start the motion of amending the laws. Yeah. I know the government is afraid that they will lose the Malay Muslim votes. Yeah. But you must remember, this is not only the Malay Muslim problem. It is also a problem of the other ethnicities in Sabah and Sarawak. Sabah and Sarawak has one of the highest child marriages. Yeah. And they marry because of, they have another law which is hukum adat mereka. Yeah. Their cultural laws and all that. So if we keep on moving, one day Malaysians have to accept that is the minimum age. Yeah. Now, talking about those that needs to get married 18 and below, I'm not talking about 16. It's out of the question. 16 is out of the question. I'm talking about 16 to 18 before they reach the cut-off point of legal marriage. Yeah, I think below 16, whatever they do, you don't put them into another hellfire. Yeah, we do something to save the girl. Yeah, we do something to help the girl. Yeah, but if you put them in marriage, we will end up with more problems. I have cases of early marriages, not because of extramarital pregnancies, but when you do not finish your education, you have it until level 3 of secondary school. Immediately after that, soon, they have partners and all that, and they get married without proper preparation. And at the end of the day, divorce takes place. She ends up with a few kids, and now on the JKM list or the Zakat list, and money is never enough. Children's education again gets tergendala lagi, and the vicious cycle will go on and on. Yeah. So law-wise, our Cik Nizam dah tunjuk pada kita. He's shown us the contradictions that we have in our law. Right from the Child Act to the sexual offences towards children, there's already a contradiction. And then between the civil court, the civil law and the Sharia law, pun sudah ada contradiction. One a section of the society have 18 years old as the minimal age for marriage. The other section of the society has it 16 years old. That means for Malay Muslims between 16 and 18, you don't have to get court permission. You can straight away get married. Yeah, only below 16. And below 16, even if there is an allowance there for the judge to allow for marriage, we have to tighten the procedures. Yeah, we have to tighten the procedures. We have to know the background of the spouse. Yeah, especially when there's a big age gap between the girl, the bride, and the bridegroom. Especially so. And this family, this new marriage, if they were allowed because of reasons of already pregnancy and all that in the family, I'm sure if we say that absolutely no, there will be a revolt. I do not know. But looking at Dr. Sharifah Shahira punya I think the government don't have to be afraid. A big portion of the rakyat thinks that perkahwinan kanak-kanak is absolutely not something that they like to support. So if we were to bring this to the parliament, the parliamentarians will not have any fear of supporting it. Yeah, and the government would not have any fear of losing votes. Yeah, the only thing is that we have this section of what we call the religious groups, including the Sharia proponents, that we should not ban, and some of them bring up the argument of Sunnah. They say that they put it on the Prophet, but that too is controversial now, that it is not a Sunnah. Muzakarah Jawatankuasa Fatwa Kebangsaan already said that it's neither obligation nor Sunnah. So you cannot quote religious value here. The marriage is not religious value here. So the government has to amend a few things. The Child Act, the sexual offences towards children, civil law. The civil law is quite okay now, 18, but still we have between 16 and 18. The chief minister and the ketua menteri can allow for such marriages. So it has to be a very, very good reason. I suggest it goes to court, not to the chief minister, because the chief minister or the ketua menteri won't have time to pore over the documents, the background, whatever. So when it comes, he will only sign. That's how it works in politics. So it should not go to the chief minister or the ketua menteri. If for the non-Muslim between 16 and 18, it should also go to the court. And we have to to bring up the Sharia to be in parallel with civil. It is nothing about Shariat Islam. It's about how we as Malaysians feel that what is the right age for marriage, legal age for marriage in our country. Yeah, nak dapat license pun must be 18. Yeah, except nak voting have to be 21. Yeah, for marriage too we have such an age. Yeah, but I would like to leave a little bit, orang kata a little bit of keluasan, what is it, flexibility there, but not the flexibility that we have now in our Sharia Court, where the consideration has always been about, and is stated by JKSM, that most of the child marriages below 16 that goes to court are because of moral problems. Yeah, that's the main reason, not because of poverty according to them. Yeah, so I think that's what I have to say for this morning. Yeah, thank you very much.